Either way, even though apparently she's the strongest Russian female player, you have a pretty good idea what's going to happen. So the question is, how does it happen, and what can we learn from it happening, more or less? Now, the little thing that's interested me is Feng opens up, corner, sure, why not? Almost every pro game that we would ever look at, we would expect the upper left corner to be taken right now, and lo and behold, it is not. The lower left is not inviting the diagonal, which I always find amusing because I pretty much open almost every game review with, and you can tell white's a pro because they take, something in the upper left-hand corner and invite everything. So I think it's cute when, like, the amateur player doesn't open up that way, because you could kind of tell they're not professional. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I look for it every time I look at a game. But we do have white opening up 4-4-3-3, or sorry, 3-4-3-3, because it is a bit reserved. Opening up the 3-3 lately has been an attempt to block the obvious. If we open up dual 3-4, it's as difficult as white, unless we have something like this, because we don't really want to open up this way with our 3-4 facing our opponent. And if we open up this way, then the 3-3 is a possibility. Like a lot of games, you would probably see something like this into maybe even something like this, or a whole bunch of 3-3 invasions. So this has been played a lot recently, especially by good old Mr. KG, in an attempt to just say, you know what? You're not doing that. No 3-3 shenanigans. No, but I can invade your 2-2 instead. That reminds me of something stupid that was going around in 2004. Something really, really stupid that was going around in 2004. The 1-1, actually. You invaded the 1-1. They responded by blocking your 2-2, and then you hit the 3-3 and kill them. Dumbest trick play in the history of ever. But it was a thing for a while. Not, like, professionally or anything, just stupid things amateurs were doing. But alright.
Are you serious now?
Yes, I am serious now. Well, the thing is, no, you shouldn't, because no one should be that stupid to respond to the 2-2 with if you hit the 1-1. They should just do anything else. Only if you have someone that's, like, I don't know, stupidly aggressive are they gonna do something like that. And I don't know anyone like that. Anyway. So every Taichung player, maybe. Hopefully people know better by now. Anyway, 3-4 gets approached. Gets approached high, makes sense because white is flashing a 3-3 in the bottom left, so we could keep that low in a whole bunch of ways. So we're probably going to get influence. We're probably seeing influential game. Sure enough, white says, I want territory. And interestingly enough, Feng plays a variation that we don't really see very much nowadays. And that is, oh, Wolf? Oh, did Wolf join? Wolf did join. Sorry, Sadakats, who is watching this later. I know I'm not editing this, I'm just throwing it up on Patreon. There you go, Wolf.
Everyone get used to the fact that you are not an organized person. It's okay.
So yeah, the reason why we don't usually see this Joseki, of course, is because, not because of the variations that actually play out in the game, but because you could go and just do this. And that turned out to be really, really, oops. Yeah, turned out to be really, really annoying. when white just lives on either side of ye old wall. It's kind of why it's fallen out of fashion. That is how the avalanche starts, and if you want to play this way as white, you can. It is completely up to you to whether you go into avalanche or if you make their life miserable. In my opinion, this is more annoying than the avalanche. Could do the small as well, if you want to Hane here. I'm waiting for 2 months for a game where someone tries to play avalanche just to play that. Ah. Yeah, avalanche wasn't really something that a lot of people really invited. The mid-dons and up kind of tried to do it because they felt reasonably sure. Only a handful of crazy queues would try to play avalanche in their games. But nowadays...
I tried.
But nowadays, I mean, when we see black attempt it, white just has been dodging and turning you into a clever shape. But not white this game, so black gets nice influence. I'm personally not a fan of this. I don't like being so low on the left-hand side of the board, especially with a 3-3 in the lower left. Now, this is odd. White approaches here. Typically, we would want to start splitting this to make sure it can't grow. But 3-4, I can see why.
Side center.
Indeed, indeed. That does have other options to it, though, because you did give a large wall. But yeah, I can see why white decided to approach here instead. Still approaching low because territory, so trying to be consistent. But with the D17 exchange, what does? The upper left looks like a 3-3 invasion. I'm not really sure how you get that. Because the 3-3 at the very least would go like this, right? Unless you want to go modern. I don't know, a bit different. Oh, the overall result. A little bit. A little bit, yeah. Anyway, so white pincer, or black pincers rather. One thing I see a lot from players lately is they just go ahead and, right, ultramodern is don't Hane your knight, just extend. I was looking at that earlier too. But yeah, nowadays I see a lot of players attach just to try to settle rather than come out. The problem with that, of course, is this into this, into more fun, and even more fun. And
That's not funny.
And the burning question of what we do here. Usually the only thing we can do here, given the pincered stone, is play something like this one, which no one really likes. I mean, we could play this way, but no one likes this either. At least no one sane likes this. It's just a bunch of clumped up stones that I don't really know what they're going to do.
I have never seen that in actual games.
Yeah, people usually avoid it.
Why are
But,
you showing them?
because I've seen it 3 times this week.
What?
Yep, I played it in one of my lessons, and when I was looking for examples for what to do in the basic video that I had on Friday, I saw it played twice there too.
At what rank?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But it is a thing. It is Joseki. You can look it up. So white jumps out. Black jumps out as well. This is a variation that is also used to be fairly common. Haven't seen it very much nowadays. The reason why we don't see it very much nowadays is because I think, in my opinion, this is really, really good for black. I've never been upset playing it in my game. Because we're keeping the corner. We're getting influence. White's getting a base. Sente, that's true. But overall, can't be unhappy with what black's getting here. White tries to extend, and black says, you know what? That is too much, and decides to reduce it. Why do we know this is actually safe to do?
I have a question.
Okay.
Why R14 is better than something on the top to split both sides, as we mentioned earlier?
Well, we need to finish our base here in some fashion or another.
Isn't it being like a wide group is relatively okay, no?
It's relatively okay, but as we're seeing here, this is a forcing move. So the forcing move would be an expansion if we just try to split. As Nutter's pointing out, it is safe because of, yes, exactly. If we just play something else, then we have this annoying variation where we have to respond, otherwise we're dead locally. And we don't want to get into this kind of a position. That would make us very, very unhappy. So white has to respond to this. Tries to cut and make everything connected. I like it-ish. I mean, it's going to work, but it's going to come at a cost, because right now, as white tries to connect, we are noticing a thing happening here, and that is black is getting the influence. It would have been a lot safer to play something like this, or maybe this, because even then, it would be harder to come into here, but because white played the approach that's slightly too far away, it makes it really, really awkward to defend against the invasion. Then what should have been a pretty safe position here for a pretty safe base turns really, really badly. Yes?
If white play R14 on the top, then black would not play R11.
Then black...
R11 is the response to R14, right?
So if white plays what instead?
If instead of R14,
yeah,
white plays on the top, then
oh no, black's still gonna play it.
R11.
No, black's still gonna play it. Because you can't let yourself be turned into, like, no points and just like a base that's not, or a group that's still hunting for a base. That would be priceless, especially with black's wall here. Because it would just kind of grow, and then the bottom would fall to black. What was likely going to happen here is we'd make this kind of exchange, and then we'd be able to get this win for free. Which would be kind of nice. Especially in light of the fact that we can play something like that later. Yeah, the easiest solution would be just to play something like this. We push from the wall, we push away from the wall in that variation because this is really irritating. If we go and do this, like we don't want to get our shape point taken away. Otherwise, this tends to turn into not influence, but just kind of like a headache. So yeah,
So
oddly enough.
proverb does not work.
So what doesn't work?
Proverb.
Yeah, in here it doesn't because shape point. If we already had like something like this on the field, then we could absolutely go away. We could absolutely do something like this because we can immediately counterattack. There's no threat to connect underneath. But sadly, the poke is Sente. And since it's Sente, they get to respond and keep strengthening themselves. We don't get the chance to really counterattack, and it's just really annoying.
Okay.
So yeah, possibly White's first mistake here is going to R14. Should be a little bit less because this is still an approach. White's not, or Black's not going to suddenly play something like this. Because that'll just be attacked immediately. Very, very passive.
You know, I can ask her what she thought.
Yeah, probably.
Just saying.
So yeah, now Black's getting a very good result here. And now juggling multiple parts of the group. Black trying to jump out because we can't give a wall to Black that literally spans the entire board. That would be very, very bad. So White comes out. Unfortunately, the take is now Sente. Because White has to connect. And now we're in a bit of a painful position. Because we also can't let Black get a move like Q13. Because that'll disconnect our lovely new 2 stones. But the idea here is that we're going to jump out. So even if we get cut off, we've got enough of a group on the outside to do something. But as you can see here, it just kind of gives 4th line territory, is giving 4th line territory away to Black. While White got not quite so much. I mean, essentially it's trading off the group that we're, or kind of a base that we said that we were going to have originally, which was just like extending to like here or whatever. But instead of getting that base, we're getting that base and giving away 4th line territory, which is not comfortable.
Do you know time settings of the game?
Do I know the time settings of the game? No, but I imagine they were fairly standard, given this is a tournament. That is one thing that's kind of always been a little annoying with Go for Go, is that they don't have that information, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So White is going in because can't just give 4th line away to our opponent. Gotta try to do something about that. So Black blocks. White attaches, trying to go ahead and settle. Attachments. We could Hane, but Hane's invite crosscuts. Crosscuts create Aji. Black simply connects, because keep in mind, Black is currently sitting on this move, which is quite nice. So all we need to do here is keep calm and divide nice and strong. Don't create cutting points in exchange. In the exchanges, rather, because we've got large moves that we can play later on. Which is why White attaches here, because White is now trying to get... I've already destroyed the tree, right? Yeah, I did. I'll keep destroying it. White's trying to get this kind of thing in. That way, there's no longer that threat of connection to disconnect us. Which is also why Black responds here, saying, I'm going to disconnect you. And now we don't want to give the corner back to our opponent, because that would be slightly awkward too. So White chooses to keep the territory instead of the exchange for the 2 stones. looking for a forcing move, seeing if the opponent plays here, for example. Then maybe we've got something like that later. Doesn't play. Follow-up move. Takes. And now, unfortunately, we do, in fact, have a wall that is spanning the entire board. I do like the attempt to counterattack. It's a good idea whenever we are trying to defend ourselves. We try to do so in Sente, and the attachment in the corner was a nice way to try to deal with a very, very uncomfortable position. Unfortunately, Black did not forget about what was important and was just saying, okay, if you want to keep the connection, you're giving me my corner back. White said no, so we got the wall here for Black. So now we're trying to settle. White pokes at the shape, because now we're not living locally, so it forces White to run. Now we have Sente for Black. What would you say is the largest move on the board right now? Because I kind of like what happens next.
F4.
R4? Wait, what?
F.
Oh, F4. That is... Oh, down there. Yeah. Alright, could expand. I would like the expansion of a move like F4 or E4 or wherever over the shoulder hit. Since you did mention it, TMTVL. Yeah. The shoulder hit's weird.
Yeah,
Because that's like... It offers your opponent the decision on which way is best for them to push. They could push this way if it's best for them to do that. They could push this way if it's best for them to push that way. Also, it's very strange in that this is a 4/4 stone that got a 3/3 invasion that was ignored. Which immediately feels kind of strange in that regard in and of itself. Yeah. So it's a bit unusual to play. It's better to usually like pick which area you want to get. Like I want to build the bottom, so as you mentioned, I'm approaching from this way, so they have to enclose, and then I'll get a thing. Or no, the other way was larger, so I'm gonna go this way, and make sure I'm getting something over there. But yeah, normally we would be like, all right. Now, we're not going to be too aggressive here. We're just going to, you know, expand and build stuff and not try to attack to kill things. But, I mean, when you got a group to attack, Feng Yun's just going to be teaching us that it's okay to attack it. I mean, why not, right? If it's struggling, we should encourage it to struggle. So here's the struggle. The struggle is real. And this next move I violently disagree with. Because White is really, really busy. She's a busy person. She got a group that's trying not to die at the top of the board. But she didn't want Black to play the follow-up move at C12. And Feng Yun, I think Feng Yun took that personally. Because she immediately reaches in and grabs her by the throat and asks, "Where is your shape?" To which we don't really know. It's like poke, poke, poke. There goes just about all of our eye shapes. Because White really needed to keep defending here. Now, I'm not saying White is absolutely gonna die. But look at the moves we have to play now in order to try to not be dead. Like, we have to attach to our opponent in the middle of an open board in order to try to live. That's going to give a lot of strength away, right? And that's the kind of thing that even though we can live, we usually wind up coming at the other end of that wishing we hadn't. It's like, you know what? If that group had just died immediately, it would have saved me a lot of time. But now we're struggling. And Feng Yun is relentlessly poking at every shape that this girl tries to make.
That's nice lesson, actually,
Mm-hmm.
about shape points. How to kill the shit in the middle of the thing.
No. It's
What?
not.
I
It
thought
might
it's
not die.
lesson.
It might not die. No. It might not die. It might live. But if it's giving up all of this stuff in the middle, like right now, for example, let's say it was alive. Like white play another move in the middle, and then it was alive. And then black could play a large point, and living with the 2 points is probably not worth the influence that we're giving away on a board this open. Because like the next move, wherever black plays it, like close your eyes, play any kind of move on the bottom of the board, and you're making way more points than white's been making trying to live in the middle or with that move on the left hand side. And then turns out we're going to like go back and like invade that. So we go from invading the top to giving white or black too much in the middle. So we need to now invade the bottom. And if that gets too strong, or we got to invade somewhere else, it's kind of also what I was mentioning in my lecture on Friday. Yeah. Well, in this case, TMTVL, yeah, you make a good point, 'cause I'm not capturing chat. So what TMTVL just said is you can't essentially be the party of no. You can't just run on a platform of I am against this, I am against this, I am against this. You have to eventually, like, be for something. And here, she was for C12, which is, you know, how this happened. But alright. Back off that. So yeah, we're trying to... Oops, I'm sorry, Donatari. That was my Q brain thinking I'm gonna just be stupid. Get rid of the shape first, threaten to cut through. I like that a lot. Threatening. Trying to surround, but that's not gonna happen. Like I said, white's probably gonna get out, but you know, black will get something here. And in this case, it looks like the L11 stones are probably not going to be safe. Is Robin having internet trouble? It's possible, yeah. I think this was a little bit too much, to be honest, because this strengthened the surround on black's group. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but I think this was probably going to be better for white in order to come out and like at least live with the group. Moral victory. Instead, we're being busy. So white Hane, but it looks like because of H9, the cut at F9 is now very much a possibility, so we have to defend it. White just takes because O9 takes the entire like middle right-ish area. Oh, bit. Who are you on the KGS bit? I can invite you to join. Oh, bit is bit. Okay, that's actually... Thank you for keeping your name nice and easy. I will invite you in a bit. Wah, wah, wah. Alright, you invited. So yeah, at this point, and there's going to be a video of this going up on Patreon. Yeah, so black's taking essentially the middle, which is nice. White's like, no you're not. Time to expand, because we got some influence. The bottom's large. White's aiming for the left. Black's asking questions. Again, shape point. Can I Hane and re-attack you in the center of the board? White says, no, I've had quite enough of that, thank you. So black gets wall. White says, I go under wall, but that's 2 large knights, so we can lean on that, right? The shape isn't strong there. And unfortunately, because the shape, yeah, 2 small knights, because shape isn't strong there, suddenly we have an issue. And you can see the issue. There's a little bit of inconsistency here, right? Because E7 asked a simple question: Can I disconnect your group again? Right? Like you could play something like this. I'll play here, and then maybe I can disconnect your group all over again. And White says, no, you can't do that. But by playing here, we're disconnected again because we have to play a defensive shape here. Otherwise, this is going to be painful, right? Which means we are disconnected after all. White says I connect. Black says yeah, no. Poke shapes. But what I really like is this right here. We're not playing extra move to try to kill the eyes or whatever. We are still surrounding. And by surrounding, we are threatening to grow. And at this point, we are connected because of B6. So we could we do have that as a connection at the moment. Black plays here. Again, white could play something like this. And even if we play here, this can connect. Ah, storming where Rebene is. So white should be fine right now. But since white's fine, white says, I'm going to counterattack. So we push and cut. Unfortunately, black just extends. Because right now it seems like we're being offered 5th line territory, which is still respectable. Watch the ladders. And now white's trying to live in this area. Now, regretfully, we can't capture the G7 stone, right? Can't capture this little guy. Because if we play here, that's just an Atari. So this group is disconnected. Whoops, not that one. There we go. So this group is disconnected right now. The question is, can it live? The answer to that is no. I do want to call attention to black always paying attention to their shape now that they're surrounded. Not overstepping and trying to like poke first or do weird things. Just looking after our shape. After we look after our shape, then we can poke the things. Again, try and do something. All I have to do is prevent it from connecting to the right because the top is disconnected still. Threatening to do something. I like that. For shape, I'm honestly not certain if I would have played there. I tend to get freaked out and start making mistakes around here. So I like the simple Hane. Trying to poke. Gets a response. Poke. Gets a response. This is fairly straightforward. We has our two eyes. We do not get a connection underneath. And from here, there's nowhere else to go. So white is forced to resign. The reason why white was forced to resign, it started so small with like a move that was literally like one space off. But that Aji, it makes the difference between, you know, a group being nice and settled and we just mind our own business and keep playing the next large move on the board, and suddenly having an attack present itself against you. The attack built up black's strong suit, which was influenced right now from the bottom right hand corner. And at that point, we come into a very unfortunate position where white has to live with a cutoff group while their opponent on an open board has influence to throw around. That never feels good in the beginning of the game. But yeah, I think the real nail in the coffin was C12. Responding to that, like, we just can't. Like, I think if she, again, it's gonna suck, but, like, if we play anything else, just to make shape here, it's not the end of the world, maybe? Probably is. But you gotta look after your group first. Because these pokes were just too severe. Yeah, urgent before big. We just don't want to be running around with this group. And I think maybe here, it might have been better just to like place low or something rather than a shoulder hit. Because white was clearly against the idea of black getting a wall, right? White was clearly not happy with the idea that like something like this was going to occur. Which resulted in the middle group being disconnected again, and even though that you can live, again, even though the group can live, there was a cost. And that cost was, you know, a lot of more thickness being given away, corner being turned back into a small area. And even though I always say look for ways to counterattack when you're under attack, I think this one would have been better. Hello again. Like, just play here. If the cut works, then it's only going to work more after the extension, right? Unless they defend. And if they do, I would say that's good enough, right? You got your extension. If the cut was real, cut is still real. Only danger here is this, right? So I'd play this, into probably this. Or solidify the connection so we're not dead. Something like that. I mean, the downside is we're still probably going to lose because this here is going to be large. But the cut was just way too much. Trying to, where's that variation? Trying to cut this off, I think, when this still exists. I mean, we're about to die there, right? So in the end of the game, when it was clear that the bottom couldn't live, white has to go back and still live in Gote, right? So that's not going to be comfortable. But I do like simple attacks. Is it even worth adding Unreal? Unreal. I think you might as well just look at it. Yeah, the review's over. Might as well look at it on Patreon later. I am recording. I'm not editing it though, so apologize to those of you who are watching on Patreon later. But yeah, I do like the attack from black. I do like the reminder to attack in a way that you're going to gain profit from. So I like how that went. I don't like that it felt like some of my games that I play on TieGem. It's just like, okay, they didn't defend this, I need to re-attack this. I'm like, okay, they didn't defend that either, so now I'm going to try to do this. Only difference is, if I was in black's position, I would be trying to follow up my attacks, and then all my groups would die. So, I mean, that's a thing. So for me, the shapes that black went after is kind of interesting. So yeah, cool game, fun for the whole family. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There are quite a few games that went on that were worth taking a look at. Another game that I thought about going over was this really, really crazy game. Do you guys remember who Lee Sula was? I kind of tried to... Let's see, what was it, last year sometime? I tried to get her on Go for Go's like top 50 or whatever. Yeah, she had a crazy game where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 39. So about 68 moves on the board yielded no territory. I thought about going over that, but there's less to learn from that than this one, so I decided to go with Feng instead. But it's crazy. There's like a 68 stone clump in the middle of this board that Lee Sula played, where no one has points. You need to see that? Okay, here you go. I posted in Discord. It's crazy. It's just like all clumped. Still like, how is LIA and SH sound? I don't understand. Your language is weird, man.
That's how Russian language works. We have short version of the name and long
I think you're just trying to
version of the
trick
name.
everybody that reads your name.
Short version of the name
It's
is
like,
Natasha,
yeah, he called me
and full
Natalia.
version
They
is
stupid.
Natalia.
I see. Still think it's just to trick people. Kidding. There was also a nice Shinjin So game that I also kind of wanted to look after. Look over rather, but I did briefly go over much of the middle position in Friday's game. It's the one where white just got like that ridiculously large middle. I do want to go back and finish reviewing that game at some point, because it was so cool. I think that's about it, though. Yeah. Oh, there was also another pro versus amateur game. A one-dan pro, I don't know where from, though. I'm going to say Chinese. Played a four-dan amateur. Again, someone I've never heard of. Evina Karlsberg.
It's another Russian girl, also strong.
So I thought about going over that one too. Because again, pros versus amateurs. I love looking at them at tournaments.
Oh my god, you were really into Russian girls this week.
Yeah. Totally. Unfortunately, they're only two, so you know, it's unfortunate. But we can't be greedy.
To games and both were with Russian female players.
Wait, what?
You liked 2 games and both were with Russian female players.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. I'm trying to see like who won this tournament, but I'm only seeing semifinals. I guess the finals haven't been played yet. Semifinal, round 3. Yeah, I don't know who won the tournament. Oh, Rui Wei actually played in tournament too. That's interesting. She's not top anymore. I think one of the younger female pros have been knocking her down. Anyway, that's it for today. Oh, really? You looked at the game? Is her game not nice? Now I'm interested. Is it brutal? So many stones?
So many stones.
So little points. Oh god. That's good. That's really nice. That shows that like a basic idea is going wrong in that, right? Like how did so many stones get played with so few points being taken? Like what mistake are they making? And it looks like they're attacking like a crazy person. I think Elvina is doing a slightly better, actually, than the game against Feng, because it seems more even. But yeah, it is a lot of fighting. Yeah, that's not a good game to go over. This is just so messy. So messy. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think I want to go over that game. Anyway, I'll be live.
I feel like her when I grow up.
No, be more like Feng Yun when you grow up, or like Li Sula.
I can't. Come on. I told you it's the most strongest Russian female players. I can't go above than that.
Yeah, you can. Make them feel bad. Be like, why are you guys playing so badly? What's wrong with you? I'm ashamed to be a female Russian player. You're putting us all down. And then like it'll encourage them to like get better and chase you like in Hikaru no Go.
Don't offend my girls.
What? I'm just saying it'll be like a female Russian version of Hikaru no Go. That's your goal now. You gotta do it. Good luck. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Anyway, live in 3 hours. I'm gonna have a little bit to eat. And yeah, I will see you then. Take care, everybody.
For the lecture.